Hello, everyone, and welcome to, well, not the event we thought it was going to be. Certainly, we would have liked to have gotten everyone together in person and have a proper celebration for everyone we're trying to honor today and commemorate and say thank you to. But we thought a virtual celebration was the best thing, the safest thing for us to do. So, my name's Brent Duncan. I'm the run coordinator here at St. George's School. We have 7 boats that we're going to christen. To everyone that has supported our team over the years, but I think this last year and a half especially, on behalf of all the coaches, I really want to say thank you. On behalf of the boys, I want to say thank you. First up today, we have 2 singles. I'm going to introduce Chris Blackman, the head of athletics, to say a few words about the specific names. It is a bit of a unique situation though, and I just wanted to say a few extra words. One single is brand new, but the other single has actually been in this boathouse for a few years. And it predates me, and I want to say a special thank you to George Wang from the class of 2017. When I asked George for maybe a couple words, he wanted to give a particular shout out to Greg Shipka, the head of rowing during George's time, and to Greg's commitment and dedication and how that inspired the team, and I think really speaks to the character of people like George, who came through the team and are always happy, in my experience, always happy to give back. But here's Chris Blackman for the humility and responsibility.
Hello, my name is Chris Blackman, Head of Athletics at the Senior School. Today I'm proud to let you know that our rowing program is christening 2 singles. One has been named Humility and the other Responsibility. Both are core values at the school, and importantly, both are incredibly valuable in sport. These are the 2 newest singles to be named after core values, joining integrity and resilience. These boats have been a tremendous help this year, especially given how long the boys spent rowing only in singles. From November through May, the rowing program boated 50 plus kids safely and consistently in only singles. Back to you, Coach Duncan.
Thank you for those comments, Chris. 3 boats are all pair doubles, brand new, named for some coaches and some alumni, and a coach who is an alumni. And on behalf of the team, for all the people we're about to have introductions and honor, thank you.
Hey everyone, my name's Ryan Beach. I've sat face to face in the boat with Kevin for the past 10 years now. And over that period, I've seen firsthand the impact that he's had on our rowing community. Kevin has had enormous success in his rowing career. He's won multiple national championships with Saints at the high school level and then with UBC at the university level. He's also competed internationally with UBC, and he's represented Canada on the world stage, winning a silver medal at the World Rowing Championships. Kevin's contribution goes far beyond his success as an athlete, though. As captain of the UBC men's team, Kevin served as a leadership figure for everyone around the boathouse. Kevin has also given countless hours of his time coaching at Saints. In the past 5 years, every Saints rower has been coached by Kevin at least at some point, and each of those rowers have benefited from all of Kevin's hard work. Congrats, Kevin, and thank you so much for everything you've done and continue to do for rowing at Saints.
Hi everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kevin Chung, and I graduated from St. George's in 2014. First off, I'd like to thank Mr. Duncan, Mr. Blackman, and the St. George's rowing community for this incredible honor. When Brent first mentioned that I needed to make a speech, he said maybe just try talking about my time with the team. The first thing I thought of was, wow, I've been involved with the team for a long time, about 10 years, give or take, first as an athlete and then as a coach, and partly while being a sports administrator at the school. As you can expect, being on the team, I've experienced a lot of highs and lows. But I think the one thing that sticks out to me the most are the relationships that I built through the team and the amount of support that I received, whether it be as a student or alumni. As a student, I was incredibly fortunate to have a lot of good friends on the team who I shared many, many good memories with. But I was also fortunate enough to have strong role models and coaches like Dr. and Mrs. Matthews, Greg Shudka, Teena Schneider, Rona Sabel Walsh, Daryl DeLue, and after graduating, Brent Duncan. Despite not being a student at St. George's, all these people continued to support me and provide advice as I attempted to pursue rowing at the university and international level, as well as provide me some advice and support as I tried to navigate life. And I think this is a large reason why I continued to stay involved at St. George's, is just because I had all these incredible people who were willing to support me and take their time out of their day to help me. And I feel like I wanted to be able to have a similar impact that they have had on me. Lastly, I'd just like to give a special shout out to Teena Schneider. It's an incredible honor to have a boat named after me, but I think for me it's even more special being able to have this happen at the same time that Teena is. I started rowing at St. George's at the same time that Teena started coaching, so I guess she's been there for every step of the way through my rowing career, and she was an incredible coach. She's been an incredible mentor and friend, and I'm very lucky to have had her around throughout my rowing career. I'd also like to say a big thank you to Brent, who had to put up with me a lot, especially while I was coaching and working in the athletics department. He's been a great friend and also an incredible role model for the students. So again, thank you for this incredible honor, and I'm looking forward to seeing St. George's get back out on the water.
Teena Schneider worked with the St. George's rowing team for the better part of the last decade as an external coach, as my predecessor as the rowing coordinator, and then again as an external coach. Teena's influence on the team is obvious. It's apparent in the hallways, it's apparent at the boathouse. All the boys that got to know her were influenced by who she is as a person, and I think that was reflected in her coaching, and it's reflected in all of them. I've been lucky to get to know Teena, and as well as, again, to see that impact on the boys, and to see how all of them reflect her work ethic, her friendship, and her kindness. And so it's really fitting that we now get to name a boat for Teena Schneider.
Hi, everyone. So, first of all, thank you so much. I can't even begin to describe all the emotions and memories and everything that come up when I sit here trying to talk to you guys right now. When I started coaching in that 09-10 school year, I never would have imagined how big of an impact St. George's and the rowing program and everything would have had on my life. It's I don't think that I would be where I am right now without all the life lessons and everything I took from my time with you guys. And I guess I just have to say I'm so proud of being able to have been play a little role in watching all the athletes that have come through become great athletes, great scholars, and just genuinely good human beings. That's, like I said, made me more proud than I can really put into words, clearly. But whether it's been watching, say, Kevin go from a grade 8 novice up to, winning medals at world championships, or, making some of my best friends, with other coaches and stuff. Everything has really just been one of the most amazing times in my life. And when I made the decision to move on, even that was about challenging myself to take on a bigger role than what I was currently doing, looking to always grow and become better. Though I will say I really, really miss having a heated boathouse so much. But character, right? Anyways, I think that's my time. So thank you guys so much.
I've had the pleasure of knowing the Matthews brothers for the last 20 years, and I'm honored to be able to introduce such good friends and amazing men today. Jamie, Danny, and Will are all wonderfully unique in their personalities, covering the spectrum from gregarious to reserved, from calculated to spontaneous. They each, in their own way, radiate dedication, honor, and humility. But today, I would like to touch upon their loyalty. Danny and I have the most familiar connection, established years ago in the heavyweight 8, in the weight room, and on the bus to the creek. Reflecting on these times, I realized a pattern. Whenever the team was fragmented, Danny was the first to act. Whenever conflict erupted, Danny was the first to dispel it. After a disappointing practice, when crew morale was low, Danny would rally, reinvigorate, and unite us as a crew. This allegiance, this profound commitment to the team, has imparted within Danny, and Jamie and Will, a unifying energy. At Saints, they channeled this to achieve victory with the most motley of crews. They've employed it throughout their professional careers to firmly establish themselves as successful lawyers. And of course, Jamie, Danny, and Will are especially loyal at home, as loving brothers, sons, fathers, and family men. I now have the pleasure to introduce you to the Matthews brothers.
Hi, my name is Danny Matthews. I graduated from St. George's in 2005, and I'm honored to say a few words as part of the christening of the Matthews brothers double/pair. Rowing is a family affair for me. It started with my uncle George Hungerford, who was an Olympic gold medalist in 1964. His sons rowed at Saints in the early 90s. Then came my older brother Jamie at Coxless in the late 90s, myself at the start of the 2000s, then my younger brother Will, who graduated in 2009, and finally my cousin Steve Marino in 2010. And of course, my parents were there for more than a decade of regattas and early mornings. So with that being said, it's a true honor to have the Matthews brothers' name on a boat for a program that was such a big part of my family. The significance of a double/pair is very special for me. It is a boat class I excelled in. I believe the double sculls gold medal with myself and Gabriel Noble at the 2004 Nationals was the first senior heavyweight gold for St. George's, and the repeat gold with myself and Hugh Wallace in 2005 was the second. Of course, the magic that Ole Tietz and I had with one oar in the pair was also untouchable. The tradition of excellence at the rowing program has compounded immensely since my graduation date. I am happy to have played a small part in that. I wanted to take this video somewhere that was significant to my high school rowing days, and Falls Creek, or just the creek as we called it, fits the bill. There was no Fraser River Boathouse when I graduated in 2005, just the parking lot down here, a fleet of old pococks, or slow cocks as we called them, wet launches, and a lot of cursing as the cold water would creep over the edge of your gumboots. The cold, wet mornings built character, and I wanted to share a bit of that fun history with those who might not have been around or aware of the old days. A few closing words from my own career. I didn't make the top boat in grade 8. I failed to make the nationals boat in grade 9 and was the last seat in the 8 by the start of grade 11. But by the time I graduated, I had made the junior national team. I wanted to quit many times along the way, but sticking things out with the sport was the best decision I ever made. Hard work and dedication prevail in all aspects of life. And with that, a final thanks. I would cheers some champagne if this were in person, but hopefully we can all enjoy a celebration at the boathouse soon. Thanks again.
What you may know about the UBC Boathouse is our team moved in March 2007. You may know we share the facility with the Thunder rowing program, with the UBC men and women, both of which are historic programs. You may know smaller details like we have trailers here or we host weddings and other events. But for me, when I think about the boathouse as a facility, I can't help but think of Sharon. Sharon Bulger is such an integral person. She brings kindness and calmness, certainly, to all of the operational meetings, all the meetings between St. George's and Thunder and the UBC coaches. And Sharon is the calm through line that runs through all of it. We are incredibly appreciative of everything you do to keep us going, Sharon, to keep us on task. Thank you, Sharon.
Hi there, my name is Sharon Bulger and I'm the Facility and Operations Manager here at the John M.S. Leckie UBC Boathouse and have been for the better part of the past 12 years. I've had the extreme privilege of working with the St. George's coaches, athletes, and parents. St. George's is an integral part of the UBC Boathouse team, and I have very much loved the culture that we have developed, the culture of cooperation, encouragement, and teamwork out here at the Boathouse. The staff from all areas of programming are like family in many ways. I have two sons that have spent a considerable amount of time at the boathouse over their years, and loved riding in the coach boats and being able to experience these big kids that like to get out and row on the river. My oldest son, Cameron, who could be found as a toddler sleeping in the base of a coach boat while I coached, passed away last year at the age of 9 from brain cancer. My family and I are extremely honored to have his name recognized on the stern of this quad. I'll share a picture of him loving life and riding in the coach boat with Coach Brent at the end of this video, but this place certainly brought him joy as it does me. I have loved every aspect of my work at the UBC Boathouse and the interaction with all of the athletes and the coaches, and I'm very honored to be able to do the work that we do out here. So this is quite an honor, and I'm very grateful to be recognized in this way, and I look forward to watching this quad glide along the river in years to come. Thank you very much.
After a challenging year, finding an appropriate name for a brand new 8 is a challenge. Certainly it proved to be for us to choose a new name. How do we exemplify everything we ask the boys to be? All the values, the good character, the leadership. But how do we recognize and show our appreciation for the people that have come before? We look at their effect. We look at their legacy. From the team, I want to make sure that all of you know, as you're watching, we appreciate you, we appreciate the time. Now, I'm going to turn it over to David Darling, the very first head of rowing from St. George's School, to talk about legacy and introduce some of our head coaches.
Hello, my name is David Darling, and I'm pleased to have the opportunity of giving a brief introduction to the naming of the new 8 for Saints called Legacy, in honor of all of those who have served as head coaches for the past 35 years. I'm even more pleased to see how rowing has progressed from those early days in Cole Harbour here in 1986 to today, when Saints is probably one of the top rowing schools in the country, and they have a fantastic boathouse with full of brand new rowing shells. This didn't happen by accident, and it took a lot of support from a lot of people and a lot of hard work. Rowing is the ultimate team sport, and it's the parents' support and school support off the water that's just as important to success as the efforts of coaches and athletes on the water. As first head of rowing, my job description was pretty broad. It included coaching, driving the school bus, doing various administrative chores for rowing, and occasionally teaching history. One of the most important tasks of any head of rowing is to find excellent coaches, and I was very lucky in that regard because I found many. First up was Chung 1976 Montreal Olympian, and my predecessor as captain of Vancouver Rowing Club here. He had the unenviable task of starting a rowing program from scratch. with no boats of our own and no recognisable athletes, just a bunch of lads whose enthusiasm far exceeded their abilities, or their athletic abilities anyway. After him came Peter Morey, a former Upper Canada College coach. This was when we relocated from Vancouver Rowing Club to Delta D's. It's when we acquired our first boats, some 8s, 4s and doubles. We competed in our first major regattas at Brentwood and Shawnigan. And we began our annual crew awards dinner. We began Beat the Beast indoor rowing regatta and the annual Saints College boat race. For the next 9 years after Peter, we had Boris Klavora, Canadian national team coach, an Olympic rower in his own right, as stroke man of the Yugoslavian 8. Under Boris, Saints enjoyed a number of firsts. First medals at the Canadian Schools Championships, first national championship crew, first Canadian national team member, the late Kieran Van Ryan, first spring training camps, first of all in Brentwood and then in San Diego, first overseas trip to the UK for Henley, first international regatta wins at Reading and Egham, and the first of many Ivy League recruits, as well as the first rowing trailer, which had a checkered history, to say the least. The last head coach of my era was Rob Dale. He was the BC provincial coach, and we enjoyed a lot of small boat success at St. Catharines. In a sport that involves going backwards, Saints rowing has a lot to look back on with pride, and under the guidance of recent and present head coaches, it can look forward to many more successes in the future. Each past head coach has left their mark and contributed to the success of Saints rowing over the past 35 years. That is their legacy, and so naming the new shell Legacy is a fitting tribute to them all. Thank you.
Thank you, David, for that introduction, and also for the introduction in 1986 to St. George's Rowing by way of an invitation to coach the inaugural rowing season at Saints. I am grateful also to Brent Duncan for the invitation to participate in the christening of the Legacy. As you can see, we are on location at the Vancouver Rowing Club, the venue for the initial seasons of the Saints rowing on the waters of Cole Harbour. From the broader vision of the Vancouver Rowing Club executives of the day, of which David and I were active participants, extending rowing to local high schools was deemed a necessary foundation to achieving rowing success nationally and internationally. Fortunately, in support of that initiative, St. George's shared the desire to revive the sport of rowing within the school program and allowed David to infiltrate the teaching roster with partial duties as Master of Rowing. As members of the club, the Saints athletes were subjected to early lessons in the vintage VRC training barge that accommodated up to 16 oars persons and several coaches who paraded along the central walkway, imparting knowledge of basic techniques. David has reminded me that a particular athlete with the initials KJ had a knack for being matched with failing equipment, which allowed him respite from the galley-like grind. As competency levels developed, the athletes graduated to Pocock-constructed cedar skin shells with wooden oars, similar to those described in the Boys in the Boat story of the 1936 Olympic victory at the University of Washington crew, a recommended read. While some suspected the VRC equipment may have been of the same 1936 vintage, the shells and oars bore no hint of carbon fiber composites that are a feature of the new shells, and as embodied by the featured Hudson constructed 8, the Legacy. Despite equipment limitations, for the coaches there existed a pleasure of working with motivated young athletes whom elected to share the 6:30 to 8 a.m. weekday time slot, either basking in glorious sunrises reflecting off the harbor waters or enduring the full water experience of the winter rains. For an inspirational example of what the crew might soon achieve through their rowing efforts, the athletes needed to look no further than my co-coach, Pat Turner, the bowman of the Canadian gold medal 8 of the 1984 Olympics. After a typical Cole Harbour practice session, Pat would, on his 10-speed bicycle, outpace the Saints school bus driven on its return trip up to the school, possibly only to be caught on the upper portion of the Dunbar Street Hill. There was a large measure of satisfaction to be taken to realize that in my small part at the start of the rowing program some 35 years ago has contributed to enormously successful Saints program of more recent years. Participation in the sport of rowing as a university athlete, a national team member, but equally as a UBC coach and as a Saints coach, has provided me with some wonderful experiences and friendships. I trust similarly the Saints rowing athletes will have treasure the course rowing has taken them on. In looking to the future while honoring the past, I extend my hope that the legacy will contribute in a significant measure to the continued success of the Saints rowing program. Thank you.
Good.
Hello everybody. Thank you, Brent, for inviting me to participate at this festive occasion. John and David eloquently spoke about St. George's rowing program and its history, so I'll just briefly speak about my involvement as a coach. My Canadian coaching career started in mid-70s in Toronto when coaching Upper Canada College for 6 years. In 1991, I came to Vancouver to coach UBC, Vancouver Rowing Club, and the national team. When I learned about St. George's, the private boys' school, I was really interested to develop rowing program there. So I approached Mr. Alan Brown, headmaster at that time, and he accepted my invitation. In 1989, after I retired from national team coaching, David invited me to participate with St. George's program, where I stayed for 9 years. It was fun and left me with many nice memories. Got to know many nice boys and parents, races lost, races won, and many exciting or fun events and moments. I'll mention just two, one from racing and one from training. In 1990, that's my second year of coaching, there was some discussion to go to the national championship to St. Catharines. David thought that our crews were just too slow and that would be a waste of money and time. Well, I said, David, I know more about the situation in St. Catharines. Not all crews are that fast. What counts in racing, I said to David, is to be less slow when competing against our crews. So we did go to St. Catharines, won a bronze medal, 4th place, and a lot of respect by other coaches, and won from training. At that time, St. George's boys rode early in the morning at Falls Creek, pushing off at 6 a.m. One day we were practicing racing starts. I sitting in a Zodiac, holding with one hand a anchored sailboat and with the other hand a very loud megaphone. And as I was lining up crews, sudden a naked man appeared next to me and with very colorful language chased me away from his bedroom. For a while I thought we were in Wreck Beach. In conclusion, coaching St. boys, some of them quite lovely rascals, was very enjoyable. It was interesting to observe the young, sometimes clumsy, insecure boys and how they developed and grew physically, technically, and mentally. Winning races was fun, but was not the main goal. My main goal as a coach was to develop responsible and confident young men winning races was just icing on the cake. At 1997 Saints Awards dinner, I received this carving, a talking stick, now hanging on the living room wall. It reminds me of nice times I had while coaching at St. George's. And for the new boat, Legacy, go Saints, row fast!
Good morning, St. George's Rowing, Dr. Matthews, Coach Leyland, alumni, former and current parents. My name is Spencer Martin, and I was the head of rowing and senior boys coach from 2005 to 2010. While I was looking forward to connecting with alumni and parents, I am honored to be recognized in your virtual celebration as part of the legacy of St. George's Rowing. When I started with the program, the first generation iPod and iPhones were just being released, but BlackBerry was the preferred smartphone of choice, and we trained on False Creek alongside Vancouver College. I recall the thrill of dodging most, but not all, pleasure craft, harbor ferries, dragon boats, and kayaks. Needless to say, we were ecstatic to transition to the beautiful John M.S. Lucky Boathouse and the relative tranquility of the Fraser River. I vividly recall our first regatta on Elk Lake, where the boys provided a gutty and determined performance, but where we realized we had so much more potential. I have fond memories of spring break camps in Arizona, Sacramento, San Diego, and Vancouver Island, which included Cactus League baseball games, watching Steve Nash and the Phoenix Suns, and snowboarding on Mount Washington. These were fantastic opportunities to build community, camaraderie, character, and speed. And speed we found. The senior boys won 8 national championship CSSRA events in St. Catharines, along with many strong finishes on and off the podium. I have fond memories of hosting the 2008 Men's Olympic Gold Medal 8 dinner, and I thoroughly enjoyed working with the parents of this program. I loved arriving to the boathouse early to open the facilities before the first boys arrived. Collectively, these experiences made me a better person and informed my teaching and coaching philosophies going forward. As an aside, I am currently head of department, social sciences teacher, and junior boys rowing coach at Ridley College in St. Catharines, Ontario, working with the former coach of Vancouver College. With my wife Beth, we have 2 young children, Jackson 9 and Claire 8. I would like to thank former headmaster Nigel Toy for his unwavering support, competitiveness, and determination to win the Calder Cleveland. Former athletic director Richard Cohey and UBC Rowing for their collective mentorship. Amanda Swinebens, who left the program in very good standing when I took over, and Mark DeRose, who continued to add to success after my departure. I would also like to thank Sean Leyland, who I have known for 25 years, for putting on this celebration. And congratulations to the Matthews brothers and Matthews family on the dedication of a new double. Finally, and most importantly, I would like to thank all the boys and alumni who were part of the program during my tenure. I am happy to have contributed to the building of fine young men, one boy at a time, which is the true legacy of this program. I join you in raising a glass to the legacy of St. George's Rowing. Cheers.
Wow, I can't believe it's been 8 years already. I can't thank St. George's enough for the opportunity to be their head of rowing. I thoroughly enjoyed my time learning from Mark DeRose and working with all the coaches and the athletes each year. I could not have asked for a better support from the school and from our parents, who always put the team's success first. A couple of my fondest memories are listening to Jeffrey hyping up his teammates to battle as if the results were life or death, coming together as a team at spring break training camps, and pushing ourselves outside our comfort zone when nobody was watching. The best part about rowing at St. George's is that it is athlete-driven. Each athlete is motivated to be their best each practice, and that is what ultimately led us to our success. Congratulations, St. George's.
that's it. We're done. Thank you so much to everyone tuning in. Thank you for everyone that has come before me. And as I said at the beginning, everyone that has helped the boys. I think that's what binds all of us together, is we all love what we do. And that's helping the boys find themselves. So thank you. We appreciate you. We are incredibly, incredibly appreciative of all the support and all the work and all the time. Every single person mentioned today. Thank you. Have a great day.